This is Reymart Olivo, and on behalf of the group, I'd like to welcome you all and thank you for excusing the unnecessary background noise you will hear in this presentation. So let's start. Strategies have no chance of being implemented successfully in organizations that do not market goods and services well, in firms that cannot raise needed working capital, in firms that produce technologically inferior products, or in firms that have weak information system. This module examines marketing, finance, or accounting research and development, and management information system issues that are central to effective strategy implementation. Especially topics include market segmentation, market positioning, evaluating the worth of a business, determining to what extent debt and or stock should be used as source of capital, developing project finance statements, contracting, research and development outside the firms, and creating information support system. Manager and employee involvement and participation are essential for success in marketing, finance, or accounting research and development and management information system activities. To learn more about this topic, let us all listen to Ms. Oka, and she will discuss the lesson 1.
Good day, this is Nichole Oka, and I will discuss the lesson 1, which is the nature of strategy implementation by David 2011. A quarterback can call the best play possible in the huddle, but that does not mean that the play will go for a touchdown. The team may even lose a yardage unless the play is executed or implemented well. Less than 10% of strategies formulated are successfully implemented. There are many reasons for this low success rate, including failing to appropriately segment markets, paying too much for a new acquisition, and falling behind competitors in research and development. Johnson & Johnson implements strategies well. Strategy implementation directly affects the lives of plant managers, division managers, department managers, sales managers, product managers, project managers, personnel managers, staff managers, supervisors, and all employees. In some situations, individuals may not have participated in the strategy formulation process at all, and may not appreciate, understand, or even accept the work and thought that went into the strategy formulation. There may be even foot dragging or resistance on their part. Managers and employees who do not understand the business and are not committed to the business may attempt to sabotage strategy implementation efforts in hopes that the organization will return to its old ways.
Lesson 2. Current marketing issues. Hi, this is Kith ARRIETA, and to proceed, countless marketing variables affect the success or failure of strategy implementation, and the scope of this text does not allow us to address all those issues. Some examples of marketing decisions that may require policies are as follows. 1 is to use exclusive dealerships or multiple channels of distribution. 2. To use heavy light or no TV advertising. 3. To limit or not the share of business done with a single customer. 4. To be a price leader or a price follower. 5. To offer a complete or limited warranty. 6. To reward salespeople based on straight salary, straight commission, or a combination of salary and commission. 7. To advertise online or not. A marketing issue of increasing concern to consumers today is the extent to which companies can track individuals' movements on the internet, and even be available to identify an individual by name and email address. Individuals' wanderings on the internet are no longer anonymous as many persons still believe. Marketing companies such as DoubleClick, Flycast, Ad knowledge, ad force, and real media have sophisticated methods to identify who you are and your particular interests. If you are especially concerned about being tracked, visit the www.networkadvertising.org website, which gives details about how marketers today are identifying you and your buying habits. New principles of marketing. Today, a business or organizational website must provide clear and simple instructions for customers to set up a blog and or contribute to a Wikipedia. Customers trust each other's opinion more than a company's marketing pitch, and the more they talk freely, the more the firm can learn how to improve its product, service, and marketing. Marketers today monitor blogs daily to determine and evaluate and influence opinions being formed by customers. Customers must not feel like they are a captive audience for advertising at a firm's website.
Hello, this is Nichole Jane Oka, and proceeding to recent research by Forrester Research reveals that people ages 18 to 27 spend more time weekly on the internet than watching television, listening to the radio, or watching DVDs or VHS tapes. Television viewers are passive viewers of ads, whereas internet users take an active role in choosing what to look at, so customers on the internet are tougher for marketers to reach. Growth of internet advertising is expected to decline from a 16% increase in 2008 to a 5% increase in 2009. With this slowdown, companies are changing the restrictions they previously imposed on the categories and formats of advertising. For example, marketers are more and more allowed to create bigger, more intrusive ads that take up more space on the webpage. And websites are allowing lengthier ads to run before short video clips play. And blogs are creating more content than doubles also as an ad. Companies are also waiving minimum ad purchases. Companies are redesigning their websites to be much more interactive and are building new sponsorship programs and other advertisements on their sites. Editorial content and advertising content are increasingly being mixed on blogs. Our next topic is the purpose-based marketing. The global marketing chief of Procter & Gamble, Jim Stengel, recently started his own LLC business to try to persuade companies that the best way to sell in a weak economy is to show customers how they can improve their lives with your own products and service. Stengel calls this purpose-based marketing, and hundreds of firms have now adopted this approach. He says that there is a need in an ad to build trust and an emotional connection to the customer in order to differentiate your product or service.
Hello, this is Trisha Pescana, and now I will discuss Lesson 3, Market Segmentation. In Lesson 3, we have two variables are of central importance to strategy implementation, such as market segmentation and product positioning. Market segmentation and product positioning rank as marketing's most important contribution to strategic management. Market segmentation is widely used in implementing strategies, especially for small and specialized firms. Market segmentation can be defined as subdividing of a market into distinct subsets of customers according to needs and buying habits. Market segmentation is an important variable in strategy implementation for at least three major reasons. First, strategies such as market development, product development, market penetration, and diversification requires increased sales through new markets and products. To implement these strategies successfully, new or improved market segmentation approaches are required. Second, market segmentation allows a firm to operate with limited resources because mass production, mass distribution, and mass advertising are not required. Market segmentations small firms to compete successfully with a large firm by maximizing per unit profits and per segment sales. Does the internet make market segmentation easier? Yes, the segment of people whom marketers want to reach online are much more precisely defined than the segment people reach through traditional forms of media such as television, radio, and magazine. For example, Quepasa.com is widely visited by Hispanics, marketers aiming to reach college students who are notoriously difficult to reach via traditional media. Focus on sites such as collegeclub.com and studentadvantage.com. The gay and lesbian population, which is estimated to comprise about 5% of the US population, has always been difficult to be reached via traditional media, but now can be focused on at sites such as gay.com. Marketers can reach persons interested in a specific topic such as travel or fishing by placing banners on related websites.
Lesson 4. Product Positioning. Hi, I am Jewell, and to continue, after markets have been segmented so that the firm can target particular customer groups, the next step is to find out what customers want and expect. This takes analysis and research. A severe mistake is to assume the firm knows what customers want and expect. Countless research studies reveal large differences between how customers define service and rank the importance of different service activities and how producers view services. Many firms have become successful by filling the gap between what customers and producers see as good service. What the customer believes is good service is paramount, not what the producer believes service should be. Identifying target customers to focus marketing efforts on sets the stage for deciding how to meet the needs and wants of particular consumer groups. Product positioning is widely used for this purpose. Positioning entails developing semantic representations that reflect how your products or services compare to competitors on dimensions most important to success in the industry. The following steps are required in product positioning. First, select key criteria that effectively differentiate products or services in the industry. Second, diagram a two-dimensional product positioning map with specified criteria on each axis. Third, plot major competitors' products or services in the resultant four-quadrant matrix. Fourth, identify areas in the positioning map where the company's products or services could be most competitive in the given target market. Look for vacant areas. Fifth, develop a marketing plan to position the company's products or services appropriately. Because just two criteria can be examined on a single product positioning map, multiple maps are often developed to assess various approaches to strategy implementation. Multidimensional scaling could be used to examine three or more criteria simultaneously, but this technique requires computer assistance and is beyond in the scope of this text. Some rules for using product positioning as a strategy implementation tool are the following. Number 1. Look for the whole or vacant Nike. The best strategic opportunity might be an unserved segment. Number 2. Don't serve two segments with the same strategy. Usually, a strategy successful with one segment cannot be directly transferred to another segment. Number 3. Don't position yourself in the middle of the map. The middle usually means a strategy that is not clearly perceived to have any distinguishing characteristics. This role can vary with the number of competitors. For example, when there are only two competitors as in US presidential elections, the middle becomes the preferred strategic position.
Lesson 5, Finance Accounting Issues. I am Erjhon PAYLADO. In this section, we examine several finance or accounting concepts considered to be central to strategy implementation. Acquiring needed capital, developing projected financial statements, preparing financial budgets, and evaluating the worth of business. Some examples of decisions that may require finance or accounting policies are these. Number 1. To raise capital with short-term debt, long-term debt, preferred stock, or common stock. Number 2. To lease or buy fixed assets. Number 3. Determine an appropriate dividend payout ratio. Number 4. To use LIFO, last in, first out. FIFO, first in, first out, or a market value accounting approach. Number 5. To extend the time of accounts receivable. Number 6. To establish a certain percentage discount on accounts within a specified period of time. Number 7. To determine the amount of cash that should be kept on hand. Acquiring capital to implement strategies. Successful strategies implementation often requires additional capital. Besides net profit from operations and the sale of assets, two basic sources of capital for an organization are debt and equity. Determining an appropriate mix of debt and equity in a firm's capital structure can be vital to successful strategy implementation. An earnings per share over earnings before interest and taxes analysis is the most widely used technique for determining whether debt, stock, or a combination of debt and stock is the best alternative for raising capital to implement strategies. This technique involves an examination of the impact that debt versus stock financing has earning per share over various assumptions as to EBIT. Theoretically, an enterprise should have enough debt in its capital structure to boost its return on investment by applying debt to products and projects earning more than the cost of the debt. In low earning periods, too much debt in a capital structure of organization can endanger stockholders' returns and jeopardize company survival. Fixed debt obligations generally must be met, regardless of circumstances. This does not mean that stock issuance are always better than the debt for raising capital. Some special concerns with stock issuance are dilution of ownership, effect on stock price, and the need to share future earnings with all new shareholders. New source of funding. Credit unions were not involved in the subprime loan market, so many of them are flush with cash and are making loans, especially to small businesses. Deposits to credit unions were also up when many investors abandoned the stock market. Roughly 27% of the 8,147 U.S. credit unions offer business loans. The amount of businesses loans was up 18% in 2008 to $33 billion US dollar, and the average loan size was $215,000 US dollars.
Hi, this is Jewell LALAP, and we will proceed with the subtopic for this lesson. Let us begin with projected financial statements. Projected financial statement analysis is a central strategy implementation technique because it allows an organization to examine the expected results of various actions and approaches. This type of analysis can be used to forecast the impact of various implementation decisions. For example, to increase promotion expenditures by 50% to support a market development strategy. To increase salaries by 25% to support a market penetration strategy. To increase research and development expenditures by 70% to support product development. Or to sell $1 million of common stock to raise capital for diversification. Nearly all financial institutions require at least 3 years of projected financial statements whenever a business seeks capital. A projected income statement and balance sheet allow an organization to compute projected financial ratios under various strategy implementation scenarios. When compared to prior years and to industry averages, financial ratios provide valuable insights into the feasibility of various strategy implementation approaches. Let's proceed for financial budgets. A financial budget is a document that details how funds will be obtained and spent for a specified period of time. Annual budgets are most common, although the period of time for a budget can range from 1 day to more than 10 years. Fundamentally, financial budgeting is a method for specifying what must be done to complete strategy implementation successfully. Financial budgeting should not be thought of as a tool for limiting expenditures, but rather as a method for obtaining the most productive and profitable use of an organization's resources. Financial budgets can be viewed as the planned allocation of a firm's resources based on forecast of the future. Then, evaluating the worth of a business. Evaluating the worth of a business is central to strategy implementation because integrative, intensive, and diversification strategies are often implemented by acquiring other firms. Other strategies such as retrenchment and divestiture may result in the sale of a division of an organization or the firm itself. Thousands of transactions occur each year in which businesses are bought or sold in the United States. In all these cases, it is necessary to establish the financial worth or cash value of a business to successfully implement strategies. All the various methods for determining a business's worth can be grouped into 3 main approaches: what a firm owns, what a firm earns, or what a firm will bring in the market. But it is important to realize that valuation is not an exact science. The valuation of a firm's worth is based on financial facts, but common sense and intuitive judgment must enter into the process. It is difficult to assign a monetary value to some factors such as a loyal customer base, a history of growth, legal suit spending, dedicated employees, a favorable list, a bad credit rating, or good patents that may not be reflected in a firm's financial statements. Also, different valuation methods will yield different totals for a firm's worth, and no prescribed approach is best for a certain situation. Evaluating the worth of a business truly requires both qualitative and quantitative skills. Lastly, deciding whether to go to public. Going public means selling off a percentage of your company to others in order to raise capital. Consequently, it dilutes the owner's control of the firm. Going public is not recommended for companies with less than $10 million in sales. because the initial cost can be too high for the firm to generate sufficient cash flow to make going public worthwhile. $1 in 4 is the average total cost paid to lawyers, accountants, and underwriters when an initial stock issuance is under $1 million. $1 in 20 will go to cover this cost for issuances over $20 million.